The Life of a Black Widow, a story of survival, seduction, and solitude. Part 1. Birth and Early Life. In a dark corner of an old shed nestled between broken boards and spider silk strands, a pale, papery sack trembles slightly in the still air. Inside, the first stirrings of life begin. This sack, delicate yet resilient, holds the beginnings of a new generation, hundreds of black widow spiderlings preparing to enter a harsh and unforgiving world. Each spiderling is smaller than a grain of sand and packed tightly within this silky sphere. Their world is dark and warm, a temporary sanctuary. But they are not alone. Inside, their siblings are also awakening, jostling for space, instinct already humming in their fragile bodies. Then a shift. The sack tears open, and the spiderlings begin to emerge, dozens, then hundreds. Their legs stretch outward, their bodies pale and nearly translucent. They spill out into their mother's web, the first stage of their lives complete. But their struggle is only beginning. Cannibalism is immediate. This brutal ritual, encoded into their biology, begins with the most basic of instincts, hunger. The strongest consume the weakest. Sisters, brothers, it doesn't matter. What matters is survival. Of the hundreds born, only a fraction will live through the first 24 hours. Their mother, now weakened from egg-laying and guarding the sack, watches from her retreat. She does not intervene. Her work is done. In the world of the Black Widow, parental care ends with the weaving of silk. After this, the young are on their own. The survivors begin their first molt, shedding their tiny exoskeletons to make room for growth. With each molt, their bodies darken slightly. They stretch their legs across the sticky strands of silk, learning how to move, how to stay suspended in space, how to sense the slightest tremor of motion. Then, one day, a gust of wind passes through the shed, and something extraordinary happens. The young spiders raise their abdomens and release threads of silk into the air. They are ballooning, rising silently on invisible currents, lifted high into the sky. It's a dangerous journey. Some will fall into water, some will be eaten by birds, some will land in barren ground. But for a fortunate few, including one small female who is the focus of our story, the wind carries her to a shaded grove near a woodpile. She lands gently among the leaves and crawls into a hollow beneath a log. It is here that her life truly begins. Part 2. Growth and Learning. The small female spends her first days in solitude. Hidden beneath bark and detritus, she spins her first web, a messy, chaotic tangle that stretches from stone to soil. Unlike the perfect spirals of orb weavers, her web is an abstract structure, functional, strong, and sticky. Her body is still fragile. Pale brown with faint markings, her iconic red hourglass hasn't yet formed. She molts again, then again. With each shedding, her exoskeleton grows tougher, her instincts sharper. Food is scarce, and danger is everywhere. She captures a wandering gnat, her first kill. With trembling legs, she injects venom through her fangs. The gnat twitches, then stills. Slowly, she wraps it in silk, waits, and feeds. The venom breaks down the gnat's internal tissues, turning it into a nutrient-rich soup. She eats slowly, absorbing strength. As the weeks pass, her web becomes more refined. She learns to reinforce her anchor points. She adds trip lines that alert her to movement. Every strand becomes an extension of her senses. And with this growth, her venom strengthens too. Her prey becomes larger, small beetles, ants, and the occasional wandering earwig. Each meal fuels another molt. Her coloration darkens, and the red hourglass begins to appear. A warning, a symbol, a signal to the world. She rarely leaves her web except to make minor adjustments. Leaving means exposure. In the web, she is a predator. On the ground, she is prey. Predators stalk the underbrush. Birds, lizards, other spiders. A wasp brushes past her web. She freezes. Some wasps paralyze spiders and lay eggs inside them. She waits. The wasp moves on. This is how she survives, by mastering patience. One day, heavy footsteps shake the ground. A human. A hand lifts the log. Light floods her chamber. She remains perfectly still. The log drops. Darkness returns. She has learned. Silence and stillness are her armor. At night, when temperatures cool, she is most active. She tightens the lines of her web and rests in the funnel-shaped retreat. There, she waits. not in sleep, but in still vigilance. She has survived predators, weather, hunger, and siblings. She is no longer a juvenile. She is a young adult, and her instincts are sharpening. Soon her role will change, from growing to surviving, from hiding to defending, from waiting to deciding. She is ready to take her place in the web of life. Part 3. Adulthood and Survival. By her final molt, the transformation is complete. She is now a full-grown black widow, glossy black, her abdomen round and polished like obsidian. The red hourglass on her underside glows like a warning light, a biological signpost reading, "Danger, stay away." Her web, now vast by comparison to her body, dominates a corner beneath a discarded flower pot. It is a marvel of biological engineering, not beautiful, but deadly. Crisscrossed lines form a three-dimensional trap. Strands are spaced irregularly to confuse prey. Anchor lines are reinforced to hold struggling victims. She is the queen of this space, and everything within it is under her control. A moth blunders into the trap. In an instant, she races from her retreat, bites and wraps. Precision and speed. The entire hunt takes seconds. She returns to her retreat to feed, leaving only bones and wings behind. Her venom is one of the most potent in the animal kingdom, especially for her size. Drop for drop, it's hundreds of times more powerful than a rattlesnake's. But she rarely uses it on large threats. It's meant for small, soft-bodied prey, flies, ants, and crickets. Her life is a cycle of waiting, feeding, and repairing the web. Territory is crucial. Other females occasionally wander into her space. Battles are silent and deadly. The winner consumes the loser, her venom ensuring that only the fittest remain. She cleans her web regularly, replacing old strands and tightening her central retreat. A tidy web is an effective trap and a signal to males that this territory is occupied. As days pass into weeks, she becomes a fixture of her environment. Mice scurry past, avoiding her. Frogs ignore her. Even humans overlook her, until it's too late. She is feared, not for aggression, but for defense. She only bites when threatened, and only when escape is impossible. But if cornered, her venom can cause intense pain, muscle spasms, and, in rare cases, more serious effects. She is not a killer of men. She is a hunter of insects, a mother in waiting, a master of silence and shadows. But change is coming. Part 4. Mating and Reproduction. On a warm, humid night, something new arrives. A vibration, subtle and different, trembles along the strands of her web. She senses it instantly. It is light, rhythmic, almost musical. Not prey, not a rival. It is a male. He is smaller than she is, slim, brown, with long legs and a skittish gait. He approaches carefully, tapping the strands with coded beats. He's announcing his purpose. He is here to mate, not to challenge. She waits. If she mistakes him for prey, he will die before reaching her, but if he sends the right signals, she may let him approach. He climbs slowly. When he reaches her retreat, he begins his ritual. Brushing her legs, gently tapping her abdomen. She remains still. Then, the act. He inserts his pedipalps, special appendages, into her reproductive opening, transferring his sperm. It is a delicate, dangerous process. The longer he stays, the greater his chances of passing on his genes, but also the greater the risk. She shifts. In an instant, she strikes. He twitches once, then goes still. The nutrients from his body will help her create her egg sacs. In the wild, this macabre gift may increase the survival odds of their young. Not all males are eaten, but many are. Days later, she begins spinning her first egg sac. It is a perfect sphere of silk, creamy white and soft to the touch. Inside, she deposits her eggs, up to 300 in a single sac. She makes several sacs over the next few weeks. Each one is carefully placed in a secure location within her web. She guards them fiercely, chasing off intruders, even refusing to eat if she senses danger nearby. She does not nurture the hatchlings. Her work ends with the silk. When they emerge, they will follow the same brutal path she once did: cannibalism, ballooning, and solitude. Her body is now tired, her abdomen smaller. She does not spin new silk as quickly, but her duty is done. She has passed on her legacy. Part 5. Legacy and Death. The seasons change. The warm summer turns to autumn. The nights grow cooler. Insects become scarcer. Her web, once bustling with movement and meals, now trembles only in the wind. She is slower. Her legs drag across the strands. Her abdomen sags with age. She no longer responds instantly to motion. Sometimes she forgets to feed. The red hourglass fades slightly. She spends more time in her retreat. The world outside continues without her. New spiders balloon through the sky. Other females establish their own webs. Her hatchlings drift into the unknown. She is alone now. Her silk, once perfect, now droops in places. Holes form and she doesn't repair them. Her once pristine web is fraying. One night, a cold wind blows through the woodpile. She curls her legs close to her body and remains still. She does not move again. Her body will dry out and her web will collapse. Eventually, rain will wash her away. But nearby, a new sack hatches. The tiny spiders pour out, blind and hungry. Among them is a small female, pale, fragile, and full of potential. She spins a thread and lifts into the wind. The cycle begins again.